Greetings, goths, punks, metalheads, herberts, herbetters, Martians, and subterranean folk and cosmic groovers. How are you all doing? My name's John, and this is the Health Anarchist channel. Well, today I'm really excited because I'm going to be doing a questions and answers, which you guys have sent to me, and I'll also be doing the prize draw for this giveaway. We'll get more into that later. Now, I got some really nice comments on my last video, and people saying that they love my content and the fact that I don't go around try to do drama videos and, that kind of thing. And, it really meant a lot to hear that, because on this channel, I do try and spread a bit of positivity, and that might be through walking. If I can encourage someone to go out walking once a week, say they're having a really bad time in life and every day's a struggle and a really hard time, if I can encourage them to go out walking to a nice green space once a week and they get home and they think, do you know what? Today wasn't that bad, actually. Today was all right. And then to me, that would be, mission accomplished. I've helped someone get out and lift their spirits a bit. So that's what I'm about. Or it might be through goth or alternative stuff. If I'm talking about things that spark people's memories, or things that people can relate to, like, oh, I love that band too, or I used to go to that club. And memories can often spark happiness, so that's another positivity that I do like to spread on this channel. So you lovely guys have sent me in some really great questions, and I'm going to start answering those in a moment. I've got them on my laptop, which is just here, so you may see me glancing over there from time to time to read the questions. So we'll get into those now. So the first bunch of questions I got sent in today was by somebody called Ashen Mariah. I hope I've got that right. Apologies if I haven't. And first question she asked was, what's my favourite hat? Now on this channel, you'll notice I love hats. It's a way to express myself. Now I wear this one, which I've got on sometimes, or sometimes I wear a top hat. So I don't really have a favourite. I suppose it's just what mood I'm in. I suppose this one's more of a fun, light-hearted hat that I wear. And I think the top hat's more of a serious hat. So yeah, I think it's kind of depends what mood I'm in. But I love them both anyway, and I'll probably get more hats in future. So the next question we've got is, what was my favourite place to hang out as a goth teen? Now, I was more of a punk in my teen years than a goth, but there were goths who used to hang around with us and metal kids. And our favourite place was a local park. It was a big park called Longford Park, and there used to be these sort of monkey bars there where you could jump up and climb across them, swinging down, and we used to climb up on there and sit on there on the park, and we'd listen to music, tapes of music in one of those old boom boxes, and different people would come up, different friends, because they knew that was sort of a hangout place, and that was a place we used to hang out. And a bit later on, as an older teen and in my early 20s, we all used to gather in Piccadilly Gardens in Manchester, and we did that for years. So next question we've got, what's the memory that brings me the most joy? Well, this one would definitely being a parent and, bringing my daughter up. And from when she was a little toddler, we'd go out and, we'd go to the park and we'd go on little adventures, exploring stuff. And, they're really fond memories, spending time with my daughter as a father. So I think a lot of it for me, being a parent's been a big thing. So yeah, very fond memories. So next question we've got, what's my favourite area for walks and hikes? Well, I live very close to Derbyshire and very close to Yorkshire, so I'd say Derbyshire, Lancashire and Yorkshire, all equally great places. My very favourite place is Cornwall, where I used to go on holiday quite a lot, and I used to love walking along the coastal paths in Cornwall. Really used to enjoy that. So my sort of favourite ideal walk, it'll have a bit of history in, maybe some old ruins, you know, and a bit of a history and a bit of a story walk. So they're my favourite types of places. Also spooky old woods. You know, I love those places as well, especially in the summer, to get out of the sun. So next question is, what's my favourite beverage? Well, that would definitely be black coffee. I drink quite a lot of coffee, probably too much actually. I have black coffee. I'm a vegan, so I don't really bother with vegan milks much. I just like the sort of raw black coffee. Apart from that, when I'm out walking, I tend to drink flavoured spring water because I get a bit bored with plain water sometimes. So spring water, flavoured spring water, sparkling. If it's a really hot day, then anything, I'll just drink water just as happily. Alcohol-wise, sometimes on a walk, I'll stop at a pub halfway or near the end, and I like to get a nice pint of cider. So cider's my favourite alcoholic drink, and I like you sort of like small independent breweries, like your farmhouse breweries that do proper farmhouse traditional cider. So that's my very favourite thing. So I usually have a pint of that if I go on one of my walks where I know there's a good pub. So yeah, favourite drinks. So next question we've got is from Halloween Rock, and he asks, how many tattoos have I got? And do I think I'll ever get any more? Well, I've got 11 tattoos. Do I think I'll get any more? Probably. Now, I'll probably do a video featuring the tattoos I've got. They're not really big artistic pieces. They're usually fairly small, the ones I've got, to medium. And the more symbolic, they all mean something rather than anything else, like different points in my life, or they might be to remember somebody or something that was important to me. So I'll probably do a video featuring those. I do see myself getting some more, definitely getting 2 more. I'll definitely get one on my wrist here, I think. That's empty. And probably, I'm thinking of getting some of those finger tattoos across there. I'll probably get one that said, fight evil. Because that's what I view in life. I hate evil towards humans and I hate evil towards animals. So, you know, that'd be a good one to get for me. So the next question I've got is from Oh My Goth, and she asks, do I feel fitter since doing my walk? So yeah, definitely. When I first started, about 7 years ago, I lost 3 stone in a year. I ended up doing about 5 miles a day. I worked up over a year to doing 5 miles a day. Today I do more of a maintenance walk. It's more like about 3 miles most of the time, unless I'm doing a hike. Do I feel fitter? Yeah, I definitely feel fitter, but it fluctuates with me. If I've not done any big sort of epic hikes up hills and stuff for a couple of months, and then I do one, then I can definitely feel it. If I start doing loads of hill walks, doing quite a lot, then, you know, you get into it again and it's easier to do. So it's like a constant thing if I'm walking. So I definitely feel fitter some days. But in general, since before I started doing daily walks, I feel much fitter since then. And giving up smoking, which I did about the same time. So the next questions we've got are from Grimly Fiendish. Grimly Fiendish asks, when did I go from being a punk into being a goth? So to answer that, I'd say being a teen, about 16, 17, I had goth friends and punk friends, so it could have gone either way. I could have gone goth or punk at that age, but I was very angry at that age for a lot of different reasons, so I got into punk. I still love my goth, I just followed punk more though, and I followed punk more till I was about 30. I always still liked the goth stuff, but it was kind of in the closet. When I was 30, I married a goth woman, so it just came out into the open then. And from 30 to where I am now, I've gradually become more and more goth. To where I am now, I'm predominantly into goth subculture. I still like the punk stuff, but goth speaks more to my heart, and it just interests me more. And goth and punk and metal and any subculture, it's things you can get into any point of your life. I've been into alternative stuff since I was like 15, but that can change and develop over times into sort of what paths and what things you're interested in. And to me, goth came from punk anyway, so for me to go from being punk into goth, it's quite a natural progression when I think about it. And punk stuff that I liked, it was always the dark side of punk, like gothic sort of punk, like the Damned, the Misfits, the Cramps, if you can call them punk. It was all them sort of gothic-y type punk bands that I liked best. So the next question is, did I ever get into the Manchester scene with bands like the Stone Roses and Happy Mondays? Not really. I was aware of it. I was more aware of what came before the Manchester scene, where that came from, with bands like Joy Division, New Order, and Buzzcocks, things like that. So I was more aware of the roots of the Manchester scene. Out of the Manchester bands, for me, the most interesting was the Stone Roses. I think they had quite some interesting stuff going on, and some interesting stuff to say. Other bands like Happy Mondays, not so much. I mean, as people, being fellow Mancunians, I think they were sorted people, but musically, not so much into that stuff. For me, the very best band that came, I guess, from the sort of roots of the Manchester era and Manchester bands in general, was the Chameleons. I think they're so underrated, and just musically and lyrically, I think they're a fantastic band, and I can't praise them enough. So yeah, for me, the Chameleons all the way from Manchester. So next up, we've got a bunch of questions from my lovely friend Sanis, and Sanis asks, have you ever been to a gothic picnic? I've been to lots of alternative picnics where it's been mixed with different people there, goths, metalheads, and punks. And I've been to specific punk picnics in the past, but I've not been to a specific goth-only picnic. And, I'd definitely be interested in doing that. That'd be quite a cool new thing for me to explore, because I've not done it before. So next question we've got is, if I could make a goth festival, what would be the 5 must-have bands? So I'd say Chameleons, Alien Sex Fiend. Ooh, difficult one next. Sisters of Mercy, Drab Majesty, and Night in Athens. There's so many more I'd like to add to that, but that'll do for now. You come off there. Off. So next up, we've got, what's my scariest moment of being a goth? There's quite a few, actually. So pick one. One was, there was a few of us going on a group walk, a few goths and alternative people. And we walked into this really old-fashioned country pub. It was like the Slaughtered Lamb from American Werewolf in London. And we walked in there, and as soon as we walked in, the landlord announced, "Oh, look, here come the Halloween people." and the whole pub went quiet for about 4 or 5 seconds. Then everyone carried on again. And in those few seconds, that was quite frightening because you don't know what's going to happen or anything really. Luckily, the landlord was chatting and joking a bit later. So he was actually all right. He was just making a bit of a joke of us for his regular customers, but it was actually all right after a while. He was still saying a few odd things, like someone asked for vegan milk, and he was like, "Oh, right, I'll just milk some vegan beans in the kitchen." Yeah, he wasn't too bad, but it was scary at first because it was a really old-fashioned pub, like 16th century, and they can be a bit unusual, these remote rural places, but they were nice in the end. Next question's, what's my happiest moment of being goth? Ooh, there's so many. It's usually at gigs, actually. So I'd say the biggest one that I can think of recently when I was really happy was when Corpus Delicti played Manchester Cathedral. That was such a nice event. It was like a gathering of goths, and the atmosphere was really friendly, and it was in this ideal place for a goth gig, which is a cathedral with all its arches and columns, and it was all lit up, and it was such an atmospheric goth gig, and the atmosphere amongst the crowd and all the people who'd come was really friendly and nice, and it was great. So that's one of my happiest memories of a goth. So thanks for your questions. So next up, I've got some questions from Marzipan. Now, Marzipan asks me, of all the bands that I've met, who was nicest and made the biggest impression on me? Well, I'd have to say that was the band, the Misfits. I've met them a few times, and Jerry Only, the bassist, is really friendly and very chatty, and it was really nice and encouraging. And from that band, Doyle, the guitarist, I've met him as well, and he was really nice and friendly. And he's vegan too, and he promotes that a lot. He's a big muscly guy, and he was really kind. He's a lot quieter than Jerry, but he's a nice guy. And I met Alex Story as well, who was singing for the Doyle band. Doyle's in a band called Doyle, as well as the Misfits. And Alex Story, the singer, he was a nice guy, a little bit more guarded than Doyle, but yeah, nice guy. So yeah, it does make a big impression when people are nice in bands. I've played in support to a lot of bands over the years, mainly when I was into punk more. I've played support to a lot of punk bands, and some of the big names like Discharge, GBH, and they're really nice guys. Subhumans as well, Oi Polloi. So yeah, I've met quite a few bands. I've not really met a band who I really disliked or anything like that when I spoke to them. So I'm lucky on that count. So next question up is, we've got, if I could go back to the 80s or 90s and change something problematic for the better, what would it be? I think the answer to this one will be a lot of subcultures, goth, punk and metal. There is a little bit of an element of self-destructiveness in that, as in, it's cool to get wasted on drugs and get really messed up on drugs and, pass out drunk. And I'm a bit older now, so I know that's a negative thing. So thinking about all that, I think if we could go back in time, I could see some people were in a really bad way. People in my social circle and people just outside of that social circle on the edges, and they're getting in a really bad way with drugs. And I, as a younger person, I just, I was not as mature, and I didn't really do anything to intervene a lot of the time. And I wish I could have intervened more. If I could go back now, I wish I could, offer the hand of help out more, and try and spend a bit more time with people going through difficult issues with substances, or, and a lot of these people, there were reasons why they were there. They could have had a terrible life, and, it was a way of numbing the pain, which is common. So, yeah, I wish I could have been a bit more helpful and supportive when I was younger. But I was a young guy, what did I know, So, next up, and the last question for today is, what's my favourite season and why? Now, it's definitely autumn. Typical goth answer, because you got Halloween, but also I love all the different colours of the trees. I love that it's getting a little bit cooler than the hot summer, and you can start wearing warmer clothes, and I just find it really cosy autumn. There's something special about it. So thank you, all you guys, for your questions today. You give me some really good ones to answer. It's probably made this quite a long video. So we'll go into the giveaway next. Now, I said I was going to give away one vinyl single. Now there's an update on that. Someone I know who collects records, he saw my last video and he said, I've got one of those. You can have it if you want. So I said, are you sure? And he said, yeah. So I've now got two to give away. So this second one I got given, it's actually a bit different than the first. It's not got a band picture, it's just a one-sided fold-out poster with the small images. I don't know if it's a misprint or something, or they did just a run with one-sided posters, but it's still a really cool prize to win. So I'm going to put that in as the second prize. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to do a draw for the lucky winners. So first draw for the first record is now. So well done, you lucky winners. I'd be jealous if I didn't have the single myself. But yeah, thanks for those questions. For everyone else who entered into this, I'll be doing more draws in the future, so stay tuned. So for you lucky winners, what you need to do is go on my YouTube channel. I think you can only do this on a laptop or a PC, a desktop PC. And at my channel at the top where it says about, click on that and it'll give you my email, which is my contact email for YouTube. And just write me a message and give me your address, and I'll get those prizes sent out very soon. So cheers to all you cool guys who've subscribed recently to this channel. It means a lot. And for my subscribers that have been with me for a while now, cheers for staying with me. It's really appreciated. I hope you enjoyed today's video. If you did enjoy it, if you haven't subscribed already, please give us a subscribe and a like. Really helps grow the channel. So until the next video, don't forget, be different, stay weird, and stay free. Bye now.